Hello everyone, I hope you're okay. So as we have talked earlier that we will be continuing with the same topic, the nervous system and brain functions. So our today's topic, neurotransmitters. And as we know that neurotransmitters are the body's chemical messengers. So let's see what their functions are, how they act. So, first of all, I would like to say you please support me by subscribing my channel and liking my videos because I need encouragement to get further. Yeah, I know this is the very beginning of my work, but I promise you that I would be grateful if I am able to make you understand about the psychology, and if you really are getting it, it would be a great pleasure for me. So please subscribe my channel and support me. So let's start. Not only do the neural signals travel via electrical charges within the neuron, but they also travel via chemical transmission between the neurons. Neurons are separated by junction areas known as synapses, areas where the terminal buttons at the end of the axon of one neuron nearly, but don't quite touch the dendrites of another. The synapses provide a remarkable function because they allow each axon to communicate with many dendrites in neighboring cells. Because a neuron may have synaptic connections with thousands of other neurons, the communication links among the neurons in the nervous system allows for a highly sophisticated communication system. When the electrical impulse from the action potential reaches the end of the axon, it signals the terminal buttons to release neurotransmitters into the synapse. A neurotransmitter is a chemical that relays signals across the synapses between neurons. Neurotransmitters travel across the synaptic space between the terminal button of one neuron and the dendrites of other neurons. When they bind to the dendrites in the neighboring neurons. Furthermore, different terminal buttons release different neurotransmitters, and different dendrites are particularly sensitive to different neurotransmitters. The dendrites will admit the neurotransmitters only if they are the right shape to fit in the receptor sites on the receiving neuron. For this reason, the receptor sites and neurotransmitters are often compared to a lock and key. When the nerve impulse reaches the terminal button, it triggers the release of neurotransmitters in the synapse. The neurotransmitters fit into receptors on the receiving dendrites in the manner of a lock and key. When neurotransmitters are accepted by the receptors on the receiving neurons, their effect may be either excitatory or inhibitory. So, furthermore, if the receiving neuron is able to accept more than one neurotransmitter, then it will be influenced by the excitatory and inhibitory processes of each. If the excitatory effects of the neurotransmitters are greater than the inhibitory influences of the neurotransmitters, the neuro moves closer to its firing threshold. And if it reaches the threshold, the action potential and the process of transferring information through the neuron begins. Neurotransmitters that are not accepted by the receptor sites must be removed from the synapse in order for the next potential stimulation for the neuron to happen. This process occurs in part through the breaking down of the neurotransmitters by enzymes and in part through reuptake, a process in which neurotransmitters that are in the synapse are reabsorbed into the transmitting terminal buttons, ready to again be released after the neuron fires. More than 100 chemical substances produced in the body have been identified as neurotransmitters, and these substances have a wide and profound effect on emotion, cognition, and behavior. Neurotransmitters regulate our appetite, our memory, our emotions, as well as our muscle action and movement. Some neurotransmitters are also associated with psychological and physical diseases. Drugs that we might ingest either for medical reasons or recreationally can act like neurotransmitters to influence our thoughts, feelings, and behavior. An agonist is a drug that has chemical properties similar to a particular neurotransmitter and thus mimics the effects of the neurotransmitter. When an agonist is ingested, it binds to the receptor sites in the dendrites to excite the neuron, acting as if more of the neurotransmitters had been present. As an example, cocaine is an agonist for the neurotransmitter dopamine. Because dopamine produces feelings of pleasure when it is released by neurons, cocaine creates similar feelings when it is ingested. An antagonist is a drug that reduces or stops the normal effects of a neurotransmitter. When an antagonist is ingested, it binds to the receptor sites in the dendrite, thereby blocking the neurotransmitters. As an example, the poison courier is an antagonist for the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. When the poison enters the brain, it binds to the dendrites, stops communication among the neurons, and usually causes death. Still, other drugs work by blocking the reuptake of the neurotransmitter itself. When reuptake is reduced by the drug, more neurotransmitter remains in the synapse, increasing its action. So this was the brief explanation or description of neurotransmitters that are the messenger in our body. So I think today's lesson is enough, and I hope it will be helpful for you to understand the brain functions and body functions and neurons and dendrites, neurotransmissions, and how our body acts and reacts. So with the next lesson, we'll be here again. Till then, take care and bye-bye. Thank you for listening to me.